Good morning. Well, good morning. It is the fourth day of January 2019, and as usual, as a retired senior citizen with mild autism and mild cerebral palsy, I am just here alone by myself. While my younger non-disabled brother, that is out. Of course, he is probably heading down to Wenham to visit, uh, check on, and help our cousin Linda Wilson down in Wenham, Massachusetts. With it, uh, you know, she's age 53, of course, single, never married, and she is taking care of our cousin Jeanette, that her mom, and of course, cousin Jeanette is 89 years old, and this year she will be 90. Was it by the springtime, within May, she will turn 90, hopefully. But, that my cousin Linda has her hands full trying to with it take care of her mom, and that she really just can't get to a lot of the other stuff that uh, her late dad used to take and do. Like the yard work, and us also, was it Linda's got to downsize. Is it? Yeah, their old family home went to Linda. Was it? Is it? Uh, so my cousin Linda has to downsize. Is it? Sell the place. Is it? Because it's too much. For was a late middle age. Was it? Uh, was a lady like her, and that then that she would probably do good. Was it? Living in a place like this, which is a manufactured home, was it, or what they used to call a house trailer? That that uh, and of course was it uh, an advantage of living in a more in a manu- smaller manufactured home. It's not just that this that this place is cheaper, with to cheaper to purchase, but it is also much cheaper to take for the property taxes, and is also much cheaper as far as trying to heat this place. Of course, I do worry that my brother Nate is cutting it fine when it comes to uh, with it uh, getting the number one fuel oil tank, was it refilled, because it's down to like less than a quarter of a tank left in the 250-gallon tank. So was it number two? Was it my brother Nate and I? The two of us take and we keep the thermostat set at 68 degrees to use less fuel. That I know it's a little less comfortable with it, with the heat set down lower. Thermostat set down lower, but it's where we do what we can to take and save energy. I will note that this morning, before my brother took off to down to Wenham, Massachusetts, to help our cousin Linda Wilson, he took me over to the Rite Aid pharmacy over at Schutt's Corner to take and because I needed more incontinence supplies. And yes, was it the type of incontinence supply? Was it the product that I use, for incontinence? Is the they call these now? Well, Kimberly Clark calls these now depend protection with tabs. Or really, this was used to be what it's called the pen fitted briefs. That the pen fitted briefs, or what they call the pen maximum protection now, is a full plastic backed adult diaper. That it does have, uh, it's of course all white, 6 tabs, adhesive tabs, the back panel, and of course it has standing leak guards, not just for with it containing pee-pee, but also containing poo-poo. Yes, besides being pee-pee incontinent, I am also poo-poo incontinent. And it's related to as if both having a neurogenic cerebral palsy, neurogenic bladder, and also related to me also having was it elderly male benign prostatic hyperplasia, which is of course in layman's terms an enlarged prostate gland. And is it I also because of even though I am a walker as a person with mild cerebral palsy, that even though here I'm in my bedroom, that the front end of our mobile home, manufactured home, and my bathroom, the front bathroom, is just around the corner, just outside my door, my bedroom door. That if I was to start uncontrollably wetting or pooping, was it there is no way that I'm not able to, uh, consciously hold it until I reach the toilet. And of course, I did. I will note that, of course, my bathroom is set up for uh, handicaps as disabled person usage. Because I have, that I have safety rails and a raised toilet seat on my toilet. And also, instead of a regular bathtub with the shower, I just simply have a walk in shower, which all I have to do is just step up that much, about that much to get over the to get over the edge to get into my shower. And whenever I you know that you go into my bathroom, that I use my folding quad walker frame, and I have it here. That yes, I do use was it loft strand crutches, for long distance mobility, but for uh, hobbling around the house was it I will use my quad walker, which is very physically stable, and it uh, helps me well to prevent falls and injuring myself, even though as a person with mild cerebral palsy, I can walk, but was it the way I walk with my in twisted feet and the crouch stance, you know, when I step, I'm like doing this, was it, uh, which of course was it, a worry is that, was it, I could end up, was it, shall we say, go over and injure myself. That is why I use walking aids. And of course, at age 60, which I am now, that I am not, even though uh, I feel like a person that is half my age, emotionally, it's like, I have to remember, that with my aging body, and having gone through, middle age physiological burnout with respect to my mild cerebral palsy, that I have to, uh, consciously think about, uh, moving my body around, so that way, I stay safe and not injure myself or end up, was it, uh, or end up in the hospital. Of course, here in Derry, where I live, that I'm actually only like 1.25 miles away from the community hospital, which is reasonably close, that for me to, Was it? So it's like only like a 5 or 6 minute ambulance ride away. With it. So with it, plus also with it living here in Derry, New Hampshire, I'm reasonably close. Was it where during the summertime, was it I could use my quad rollator walker to take and hobble all the way to Schutt's Corner and back to the Rite Aid pharmacy, or was it I could take and go to the Dunkin' Donuts in the Speedway gas station slash convenience store, also at Schutt's Corner, which is the corner of Rockingham Road and Birch Street. And of course, it's Birch Street is where the hospital is on, where the Parkland Medical Center Community Hospital is here in Derry is located at. And I'm also with it during the late spring, summer, and into the fall. Was it I could also was it walk from here. Was it in the Frost Cooperative Residence Cooperative Mobile Home Park where I live, all the way to was it the center of downtown Derry, and there was it I could was it was it go to the bank, and then just was it go in behind the bank, and I could was it get to was it the Derry Municipal Building, that's taken if I have to do anything there, that also was it the Derry, New Hampshire's community public access cable TV channel and station is located there in the basement of the municipal building. I've been volunteering there for like close to that 16 years. So was it well anyways, that I've got the house to my the mobile or manufactured mobile home to myself. Hello, one Davy or Davi. That yeah, you're one of my first that guests here on my live video weblog. That I'm doing live video weblogs from now instead of just uploading stuff off my cell phone camera. Of course, I'll still do that. If I'm away from the from uh, the home Wi-Fi network. Uh, One thing I do need to take and do is get this back up and running. Because I want to take and do some more tinkering. Yeah, it's got a little bit of dust on it, because I haven't used it in a while. What this is an Arduino Uno microcontroller kit. The Arduino microcontroller is the bottom circuit board. You know and the upper circuit board is a motor shield board, which you can run up to four little toy motors, and also you can run up to two was it uh, servo motors. And I have this. I have the the motor board set up. Where it's the jumpers. The configuration jumpers set up. The configuration jumpers which are here. I have them set up so that I put in external 5 volts to the servos, and uh, external 3 volt power to motors. And the other day, well, actually last week, I spent some time, and I, over at the Walmart here in Derry. I stopped in at this electronics department, and sorry, I got to get out a knife. I purchased another, was it purchased another 6 foot length, with its USB printer cable. I'm sorry, I hate this type of packaging because it's so darn difficult to open. Yes, it uses less packing material, but it's harder to take and open it up. And it has a good brand new USB cable. It's really a USB version 1.0 cable. Of course, right now, what is in the microcontroller is a program that I've been having running. A program that I've had running, that's earlier. the program was actually reading reading the output of a reading the output of a the yeah, this is a ultrasonic was it the rangefinder transceiver, where you have a the transducer that is putting out a pulse, that sending out an ultrasonic pulse, and then the receiver microphone was it uh, hearing the echo back, converting it to electrical voltage, converting it to a pulse, that and the and what it is that the program is actually reading back converting it to making a time conversion to a distance measurement. Because was it uh, the speed of sound has a known velocity, and you divide the speed of sound, that the velocity is distance over time. So if you have a known velocity and you multiply it times the time, you will get the distance. That is how was an ultrasonic rangefinder. That That's how an ultrasonic rangefinder finder works. That sorry, I don't have it hooked up. With again. That I'd have to look up the whether slip into another, was it the Windows window to take and start up the Arduino, was it firmware development kernel, was it environment to take and pull out and reopen the program to see for me to remember which Arduino pins, was it was it two of the pins, that two of these, it's a 4-wire servo. Yeah, so was it well, actually it's a 3-wire servo. Oops, one of the wires broke off. It's a four wire servo. Sorry, one of the wires broke off on me. I'll have to take and do some desoldering and then resolder it back in. With another new wire. But on this particular, was it uh, servo? Well, not servo, but rangefinder. Sorry, I'm getting my. I'm a technical type of guy, but I get things confused sometimes. The way it is. But uh, you have you have a VCC and ground, or your VCC return, which is 5 volts. You put 5 volts onto this board. You put 5 volts onto the board, and then you uh, have two other two other pins on this particular ultrasonic rangefinder. You have a trigger pin, and what you do, you send out a 2 microsecond pulse every 7 microseconds, or should say, not microseconds, but actually milliseconds. And you have the other pin on here, which is which is echo, which is actually you're actually sending sending pulses, sending regular pulses out to the board, this board, which is actually sending out the ultrasonic pings, from the transducer, which bounces off an object, and then the receiver microphone, reads it, and converts the pulse back to it actually measures does a time, as I said, a time measurement, and of course, as I said, distance is equal to velocity times time. If you have a known velocity, if you have a known velocity, the known velocity is actually the speed of sound in atmosphere, Earth's atmosphere, that is. And with it, you just and you just measure time interval between pulses. That and with a simple calculation gives you a distance in inches or centimeters. A useful thing that this could do is you could, shall I say, use it as a hand wave type of input, or you could use it as a wall sensor for a rover robot. I'll eventually make a rover robot. I've been tinkering around with different subcompartments, compartmentalized subcompartmentalized sections of was it the of what a little mini rover robot would need, such as using a servo to sweep the ultrasonic sensor from side to side, and of course the software, the little software with a subroutine that will with it that reads off the distance that with it, the ultrasonic sensor would read off the wall, read off an obstacle, and I've got to figure out now. I have to figure out how to take and activate, that the okay, activate motors, that because with the OSCPP corporation's motor shield board, the circuit board that runs motors and servos. The servos are dedicated to, I can't remember whether, I believe it's I believe it's Arduino, outputs 10 and 11, and the other the other outputs are dedicated to the motor driver chips that they can provide enable direction, enable and direction information, to tell the motors to turn on and what direction, whether clockwise or counterclockwise. So I've got to take and figure that out, that then I'll be, that I'm gonna have to, and the way I do software, I'm not a software person, that I was trained primarily with electronic hardware. And the way I work with software is I tinker with with whatever somebody else has written, and what I'll do is I will actually rewrite the software code to was it work with this board and with that will work with this board, with it because there's some Arduino was it accessory boards, depending upon manufacturer, where they'll sometimes change pinouts. So was it well, that some people may use was it like pins 1, 2, 3, and 4 for motors, for like direction and like 4 or 5, 0 to 3 for like the direction for the motors, and then pins 4 to 7 for the enables, for example. And another was that the manufacturer might use something else. Use different pins to take and enable the motors. That because even though was it even though was it the Arduino, the main microcontroller board is a set standard. There are was a differences in the what was it add-on manufacturers was it do with the add-on, the devices that go with the Arduino. Of course, I don't have it on, I haven't put it in the stack, but I do have a SD card, is it, uh, is it, that'll go onto the stack that to be used to take and, was it store data or was it do data logging and things like that. I'll try to figure out how to take and do that, use that at a later time. But I've done some basic things, like operate servos, that the basics of a ultrasonic range finding. You could also use the Arduino, and just draw with it, and just build additional circuitry on top, where you can actually drive. Drive was it like was it regular? Was it line voltage lights and things like that, or line voltage motors? To control them. But of course, whenever you do anything with the high voltages, with whether AC or DC, what you do is you have your Arduino, with a microcontroller on a separate power supply. And what you do as far as your signals, what you do is you optically isolate your your control signals from your from your microcontroller to the outside world. Otherwise, you end up with situations where lights and even with the motors do have a property known as inductance, and with inductance, with it, when you with it turn things on or turn things off, or you have what is known as back EMF or a back electromotive force, which is and that back EMF, if you do not isolate your microcontroller, optically isolate your microcontroller from your outside real world, if you're working with say like line voltages, for your gadgets, as it uh, you want to control with an Arduino or even with the older Parallax P basic microcontroller stamp with an IC. You have to with it. You have to separate. With it the so that so that whatever transients that there are in the outside real world do not come feedback into you with a microcontroller. Well, I also with it, that uh, the I'm just rattling on and on and on and on. But here in my bedroom, as I have I've already set up a circuit that I've got to power up. That I've built a staircase wave generator. I just have to power it up and just this Radio Shack no longer exists. Radio Shack went belly up, but I still keep this around, because it's useful. I've got a couple of the pinholes here that I've plugged up, with solder. But right now I have a circuit breadboarded on here, and what this is a staircase waveform generator utilizing two TTL 7474 dual D latch integrated circuits with the preset and clear, and the outputs of the D latches, the Q outputs are going into the inputs of a R/2R type resistor ladder network, and then I just have to put in a emitter, a unity gain follower operational amplifier circuit to to finish off that circuit, and that'll then of course fire it up, with it. And what I'm going to do is I have a here in my bedroom. I do have some of my test equipment. I do have an old Heathkit triple output power supply. With it that produces has two 0 to 20 volt outputs and one 5 volt output. I have a Instack, the GFG 8215A DC to 3 megahertz sine square with a triangle wave function generator that also puts that also has a TTL and slash CMOS output or pulse output, and that I could take with it to use to excite that circuit to produce a staircase type waveform. The staircase type waveforms are useful if you want to take with it, put together your own do-it-yourself homebrew with it semiconductor curve tracer to look at the operating characteristics of transistors, or was it transistors or diodes, and other semiconductor devices. And of course, I also have a my own oscilloscope. Well, I actually got 3 oscilloscopes. I've got one here at home, with it. The other two oscilloscopes that I have uh, are in our is in our storage shed, is it the self storage place down in Wyndham, next town south of where I live, that, and that's also where I have my DC to 500 megahertz 68 channel digital logic analyzer, which is a Hewlett Packard, the digital logic analyzer that I got as a freebie. It was practically brand new out of the box. The Sun Electronics company, was it heaved into a dumpster, was it to get it off their financial books, that I got from one of my friends, was it, for quite a few years ago. Well, let me get back to was it doing some tinkering. I'll sign off for now.